Hi there, this is Joanne from TrueAuthenticPower.com from Tapping.me, and I'm also the creator of the program Catapulting to Confidence. I am excited to do this particular audio today because when I got this or understood it or heard it, it sent off bells, whistles, birds singing, feel-good hormones all over the place. And I just thought it was so important that I wanted to share it with you and see what you think. I'm all about putting out information or ideas or thoughts or whatever to other people, but not necessarily telling them you have to do it this way or else. That's the only way to do it. And in fact, I get so totally turned off by those people that do that. The sales commercials, the I can help you do this if you just do it this way, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So the question of the hour is, do they build you up or hinder your courage? Do they build or hinder your courage? Now, I really want you to think about that because I think, and I did this in the past, I have to build up my own courage. My strength comes from internal. My strength comes from guidance. And yes, it does. However, your environment can play a huge role in how that gets undermined or built up. And here's what I mean. I want you to go back and look at family dynamics. Did you feel like they had your back? Did they speak the words and follow through with their actions to make you feel safe? Did you feel supported and cared about? Do they believe in you? Did they believe in you? Did you get that feeling of safety and security? Because that kind of foundation will tell you what you need and make you go forward in that kind of vibration. But if you didn't get that, take a second look. Think about those people who inspire you. Have you gotten that from friends? Have you gotten that from mentors? Have you gotten that from bosses, coworkers, friends of all kinds, people that you meet in all kinds of circumstances? Now, let me give you some examples. I very much had a dad who was an encourager. And I always felt like he had my back. I was very lucky in that way. Some people never have a parent that's like that. But I had other family members that were absolutely pulling me down, attacking me, trying to force me to be what they wanted me to be, have their agenda, whatever. And then going forward, I found that in a pocket of time where I was really downtrodden, full of hurt and loss and grief, and there was a cheerleader around me, which is wonderful, except I didn't need cheerleading in that moment. I had already had success. I knew what that felt like, and I was flattened. What I needed in that moment was someone to say, I'm so sorry, what do you need? Go to another incident. How many churches have you gone to where they are on an agenda to get you to do it the way they do it, speak it the way they speak it, have a relationship with God the way they say you need to, and there's no other way? You see what I mean? Do they nurture you? Do those environments, do those situations nurture you? Do they build or hinder your courage? When I heard that, learned that, understood that, it really opened up my eyes because I kind of had a conflicting energy between what love meant. I kind of knew what I wanted, but I couldn't put it into words. And then when I realized it was about what people do I really love being around and why, it was because I feel like they have my back. They're not trying to coerce me or encourage me to think the way they think. They're not trying to tell me the 1, 2, 3 steps how to do it. They're allowing me to be me and saying, you can do this. You're really brilliant at this. They were an encouraging cheerleader. They encouraged my courage instead of saying, well, you have to do it this way or else. Well, you know what? I'm not a person that does it that way or else. That whole agenda kind of thing from other people has always turned me off. From the time way back when I was little, that always turned me off. If I have to be the clone, the sheep, the follower, and do it exactly the way you say I have to do it, then you don't know me and you're not encouraging me, the individual being that's me. So really think about your different relationships, groups that you're in, the people that you have interacted with. Who did you feel the most safe with? And what kind of traits, criteria, what did you see in them? What did you feel from them that made you feel safe? When people feel safe and someone has their back, you can excel. You can feel free to spread your wings. You can feel free that even if something comes that I don't like, somebody's got my back. They'll be there to help me through it or encourage me through it. And vice versa. It sure is nice when it's reciprocal. And that's one of the reasons I was so close to my dad. I felt like we both would have each other's back if we needed help, if we needed emotional help, or I need a hand, a physical hand to help me do a project or whatever. We were both there for each other. And that energy made me feel so protected, so close, so safe. And when people feel safe, they can excel. So what do you do if you don't have that around you? Well, awareness is the first thing. I remember watching a show where there was a main character that I was very attracted to. And it wasn't just his looks or his body, which were both very nice, but it was what is it about that character, that person, that man that he's revealing, that he's showing, that he's speaking? What is it? There's something else. It's not just his looks and his body. A lot of people can have good looks and great body, but no, there was something more. And when I looked further into it, he was playing the part of encouraging his love interest, his main character, and he would speak the words and act the actions that went with the words, like, we'll do this together. We'll build this together. The sky's the limit together. I will always have your back. Sometimes, we need people to cheer us on. I can do that, but I can also be happy for you when you're excelling. And I watched that interaction, and it captivated me. And I kept trying to figure out, what is it? He really listened when she spoke. He was tender and gentle and heard her. He heard her. Or so it seemed. Everything about his energy said that that was true. And I found that so incredibly appealing in a time when there were people around me who were trying to make me do it their way, didn't understand what I needed, and never once said, what do you need? What do you need? Parents, friends, co-workers, bosses, leadership of any kind. All of that plays into feeling safe with that kind of leadership. I can immediately feel when somebody else has an agenda. And I'm shocked at how many salespeople online, on social media, are all about pushing. That is the quickest turnoff for me. But if you're vulnerable, if you are resonating with what they're saying on some level, maybe you will follow them. I don't like to be a follower. I've never been a follower. But there are tons of people in the world that thinks that's the way you do it to be safe. That's the way you have to live life. Do it the way they did it, the way it brought them success, and it will bring me success too. Part of that is true, but part of that could be very false. And so I would ask you, who are you around? Look at your friends. Look at your family. Look at the people that you work for, work around. People who maybe are your coaches, maybe are your trainers. Look and see, how do they treat people? How do they treat you? And does it make you feel safe? Does it build your courage? Does it make you feel stronger to be around them? Or does it hinder and undermine your courage? Courage isn't necessarily an internal job alone. You may feel really brilliant and great about yourself, but if you are placed in an environment that knocks you down, that tells you how to do it, what you're doing wrong, how you're not playing it right, everything that's, negative about you, I would take a second look at all of those relationships and what is the vibe that you're believing is true that you would be attracting that to you. If it's familiar and you're used to it, you're in a pattern, could be in a pattern that is attracting that is so familiar with that attitude that you actually draw people in like a magnet because it's safe. It's not safe in a safe way. It's safe in a familiar way. And sometimes even the familiar can be bad. What I'm saying is, does your body relax? Do you feel free to be you? Do you feel free to express yourself? Is it okay to screw up and have them know that you've screwed up and still they will have your back or help you through it? Or somehow still be able to say, yeah, but there's a reason why you did that, and let's work through it. I always am amazed at people who get jealous of other people. They're throwing daggers at them of, I can't stand them and blah, 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 when actually they're so jealous, but they're not paying attention to what are they doing? Could I learn something from them? Can it become part of how I can do it? My biggest mentor to date was somebody who had similar values, similar ways of thinking, and we never actually even met in person. We never even met to talk to one another. And yet he was a huge mentor for me because I could resonate with what his message was. I could resonate with what he was doing, his intention, why he was doing it, how good it felt, how empowering it felt. And it wasn't even that he was giving me that message in any way. It wasn't, I was watching his output, his work, what he was creating, what he was doing. And it so inspired me and I resonated with it. And I paid attention to why was I so attracted to that person. And it was the joy and it doesn't matter if you mess up. Just what can you do to get better? So if you're feeling jealous of someone, is there something that you can learn from them to say, okay, I might not necessarily want to be a clone, but what are they doing that I'm not doing? Just some thoughts. I think courage is partly an internal job, but it also is very, very susceptible and wobbly to our outside environment of the people, places, and situations that we're in. So I would encourage you to start looking at those things and seeing, do they build you up or do they hinder your courage? The more you can pay attention to that, you know what you're drawn to. You know instantly when it doesn't feel right. You know instantly when it does feel right. You know when you feel safe. And I'm not talking, again, I want to stress this. Safe can be familiar. But you also might be putting yourself in a hole of familiarity that really isn't working for you. When I'm talking safe, I mean your body can relax. Your breathing is normal. You don't go into fight, flight, or freeze. You're not hiding out. That's not safety. That's protection and hiding. There's a difference. Your body, your mind, your spirit will be drawn to people who exert that energy to say, I've got you. I've got your back. We can do this together. I will be there for you. It might be time to evaluate every single person in your life. And trust me, I went through this process and it scared the bejeez out of me because I realized how many people were not what I needed, but they were familiar to the kind of energy that I had been used to. It wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I needed. And I found myself pushing against them. When you are in resistance, pay attention. Why are you resisting them? What are they saying? What are they doing? How are you feeling around them? There's a lot of feeling attitude here. And it's because it's so powerful. How does it feel in your body when you interact with them? Do you look forward to them? Do you get lighthearted? Does your energy feel light? I can't stress enough for me how important this became. Maybe it will be for you too. And if no one has ever taught you that, talked to you about that, made you aware of that. Maybe now it's time. Maybe not. It's just some things I wish I had realized a lot younger. Oh, I could have saved myself so much heartache and so many replaying loops of, oh, why does this keep happening? Well, I was in a familiar loop of what was normal, of what I had been around, but it wasn't what I wanted. Start paying attention to those characters on TV that you're attracted to. Why are you attracted to them? And I'm talking go beyond the physical. Is there something that they do? Is there some way that they speak? Is there some way that they treat their partner, their business partner? Because those leave clues of, yes, that's what I want. And the more you can get into that vibe and pay attention to that and start being your own cheerleader, the more you will attract the outside influences that will also have your back. I think it's an internal and external job, but certainly the environment, even if you have a high self-esteem or high courage, if your outside environment is working against you, oh, it'll be a fight. And who wants to do that? Who wants to have that conflictual energy that said, yes, I want this, but you put the brakes on, or yes, you have to fight for this, or that's not the energy that's safe, that's fun, that's enjoyable. So try this on for size. See what you think. It may help your life. It may bring awareness. You may not be ready for it. It may not be anything that resonates with you at all, but I wanted to share it because it did have a huge, not just an impact, but a huge impact on my life. See what you think. Share this with others. If it resonates with you, maybe they need some of this kind of awareness too. Maybe it will change somebody's view of, oh, what have I been doing? No wonder. I've been around the wrong people. And I just want to stress that family is not always healthy. Family is not always the group of people that you want to be around. I had a fantastic dad, but there were a lot of other family members that absolutely worked against me. And so it made me confused about what does love mean and what does family mean? And when I got clear on, oh, this is why I feel so good with this person, this is why I don't with that person. It helped me a lot. I hope it helps you too. That's the point of why I do these audios. And share this with other people. You can subscribe to my channel. You can always drop me an email. If you have any questions, you can make comments. What do you think about this? Who have you been more surrounded by? People that build you up or hinder your courage? Until our paths cross again next time, this is Joanne. Bye-bye for now.